I want to give you some insight as to how you'll use this information in the future before you view the video. Knowing sentence patterns will help you determine correct verb usage, such as the difference between lie and lay, which is always a tough one for us, or the difference between rise and raise. This information will also help you to use the correct pronouns when you need to choose between you and I and you and me. Knowing the sentence patterns gives you a method for determining the correct usage, rather than merely guessing or relying on what sounds right. Many times, depending on our background, like what part of the country we live in or our cultural background, we've heard grammar used incorrectly for so long that it sounds right. That applies to every one of us. If you listen carefully, you'll hear television characters and even network newscasters who use grammar incorrectly. So let's talk about sentence patterns with the concept that this information will make life easier for us as we pursue this scary animal known as the English language. Today I'd like to talk to you about sentence patterns. This chapter is a foundation for future chapters. Learning the 3 basic sentence types will help you determine many other correct grammar usages throughout our course, so it'll be very beneficial for you to commit this to memory. That's why I'm putting this lesson in a form you can replay if you need to refresh your memory later on. As I said previously, there are 3 basic sentence patterns. The first pattern is the one we all learned when we first learned to read. The subject comes first, and then the verb. You read beginning sentences such as Jane ran and John skipped. Notice that the verb is an action verb, an action word. It shows what the individual is doing. An excellent example occurs in the Bible. It's the shortest sentence in the entire book. Jesus wept. We can add words to that sentence, but it still remains sentence pattern 1. I can add adjectives, such as a submissive. Still sentence pattern 1. I can add an adverb telling how he wept. Still sentence pattern 1. I can add a prepositional phrase, in the garden. Still sentence pattern 1. Sentence pattern 2 starts out the same, but it adds one feature. There's a subject first, then an action verb, then a noun. I like to keep sentences simple so they're easy for us to remember. So we'll start sentence pattern 2 with Mother baked a cake. To find out if a sentence is pattern 1 or pattern 2, ask yourself this question. Who or what is being, and fill in the verb. If you get an answer to that question that is different than the subject, you have sentence pattern 2. In this case, the cake is what is being baked, not mother. So mother is the subject. She is the one doing the baking. Baked is the action verb because it is the action occurring. And cake is the thing that is receiving the action performed by mother. That noun we also call a direct object. You're not going to have to know that term. You just have to know that it is a noun that follows the action verb in sentence pattern 2. The last pattern, number 3, begins again with a subject, but it uses a linking verb instead of an action verb.